Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams and I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction video, and this time I'm excited to react to the Jacksons with the last album with Singing Live at the Top of the Pops. I think that's in UK, Destiny Live. So let's have a listen. And before I get into it, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my uploads. All right, let's have a listen.
The Jacksons are about to start their UK tour this weekend, so I'm glad they were able to join us here tonight with their current hit single called Destiny.
In this world there's much confusion, and I've tasted the city life, and it's not for me. Now I do dream of distant places where I don't know now, but it's destiny. If it's the rich life, I don't want it. Happiness ain't always material things.
Interesting. I had this album back in the day, and this is real singing. You can tell because, you know, he's definitely being very conscious about using the microphone. And so, you know, when he was dancing and some of these other things when they're doing a little bit of lip syncing, you know, playback. But here it's very clear that he's singing in. They all have mics. This is live.
I want destiny. It's the place for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me the simple life. I'm getting away from here. Let me be me. Come on, let me feel free.
Oh my goodness. This is a thank you to my patron. Thank you so much for finding this, because these are the things I really love to react to right there in the studio, singing live.
Now I'm a man that's for all seasons, and what the city offers me, it ain't naturally. I look to greet the stars, but there's no stars. I'm gonna search this world until I find my destiny. If it's the rich life, I don't want it. Happiness ain't always material thing. I want destiny. It's the place for me. Yeah. Give me the simple life. I'm getting away from here. Let me be me. Come on, let me feel free. Let me be me. I wanna get far from here. I should I up and fly away so fancy free. Yeah. Nobody gonna change my mind. The words of destiny are calling me one time. Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, so there is the beginning of his solo career, because I think this was I think he like overlapped, but you can tell that they're really singing. They're having to use the microphone, because when singers sing on a microphone, it's not just static like this, and they don't do this. They actually he cupped the mic to get the different effects. He did this. So now here we're watching him like jumping up. Yep.
Our destiny, you and me, should we fly away? So fast free, woo! Destiny, you and me, so fast free, destiny.
studio tonight with Michael Jackson and his brothers, Jacksons and Destiny.
All right, I just love that because they could tend to business sitting on chairs. Because, yeah, sometimes the dancing can be hard on the voice and you can't do all those moves, except it was really great to see Michael. He just had to jump out of the chair and just do some of those signature moves that we kind of is like a preview to his solo career. Of course, he was always moving in, but just seeing them sit in those chairs, you know, it's interesting. I think that was like 79, something like that, 78, 79, 80, somewhere around there. And so they weren't quite having all the glitter back in those days, but they still had those big scarves and big fros. And Michael just was such a master at singing. And I love seeing them sit down because I know I love the stage show, I love the dancing, I love all that. But sitting down, you really can tend to business and you can use the mic in a really powerful way. Now you could tell his voice is really strong. He can sing, obviously. And so in later years and in some of the other shows previously, there was some lip syncing involved. You can tell because there's no mics or they're just holding their mic like this, like pretending. Because when you're really going to sing something like that, you're going to do that. Now, that was not a really intense song. At the end, he started doing some whoops and stuff. So he would hold the mic almost like this. A lot of singers would just, so it gives a little bit more control or resonance. You know, it really depends on the sound engineers. And of course, back in those days, I don't know, there was kind of, they didn't have all the things that we have now. And like monitors where you hear yourself on stage, and now they have in-ear monitors. I mean, technology has gotten so much better, but just seeing them sing together. Now, the interesting thing too is that they're usually, you know, standing up playing their instruments and they're sitting in their chairs, but you could see them grooving. The body was grooving like this. And I had a coach I went to, and she was very clear that when you're singing rhythmic music, and she was actually a jazz coach, but it still was, you know, the rhythm and blues came from the same source, just saying. And so that you need to feel the rhythm in your body. And if you stand here and then you're trying to find the rhythm, you see what happens? It's like really stiff. You can't really feel it. Your body has to incorporate it. So when they were in the chairs, they were still doing a lot of this. You know, they're keeping this, you know, body alignment, but there's a bit of this like wiggling in rhythm because the body has to feel the rhythm. You have to, and Michael's had some quotes about that. You know, the body is in the rhythm and we have the rhythm, it's in us. And so it even felt like, you know, that's why Michael had to jump up and start doing his moves. Yeah, I banged my elbow on my piano. But that's how he felt it, and he practiced those moves, and he practiced them even when he was singing and holding the mic, and because he's that person that was really focused on being great. And it was really fun to see this kind of like right before he head off the wall. And I don't have that album. I need to get it. That's one I've missed. So, but you can see you can see where he's going to. And it was really great to see the brothers because that was that era where there's a lot of backing vocals. Everybody who had these Gladys Knight and the Pips. And so that era that they came up into, there was a lot of backing vocals. And unfortunately now, you hardly ever hear it. You hardly ever hear it. And to be honest, because there's so many people that really can't sing or pull it off, because music in the big leagues has become more about image and, you know, clothes and things like that aren't really about vocal skill. Now, there are some really great, very talented singers. I'm not going to say that there are really great singers, but it seems like the focus is more on the performance. But, you know, that's what sells. Performance sells. But I miss the backing vocals. In fact, back in the era of the arena bands, you know, they'd hire backing vocals. There's always backing vocals. They were always singing. There's always the pros behind them. But now it seems like you just barely hear it. You barely hear mixed arrangements of backing vocals, and you don't really hear solos anymore. We don't really hear sax solos, guitar solos, piano solos, things like that. It's kind of a lost art, but we all enjoy it. People who love music want hearing things in the moment. That's what we call improvisation. So improvising things, which Michael did on that performance, makes things fresh. No one wants to hear the same thing over and over again. It's not so exciting to sound exactly like the record, because music is meant to evolve. It's meant to change. The artists need to feel not locked in, unless you're like not so good you can't do it, but you need to like allow the voice to change things up just slightly all the time. And I've always enjoyed the artists that do that, like Sting and Prince. They're never going to do the same thing all the time. Never. They're always going to change it up. They're going to always do something new because it's fresh. It's boring to do the same thing over and over and over again. You want to freshen it up and not like change it, but that's what contemporary music is. It's about moving with the music and feeling it different every time. So sometimes I get people who react and they go, well, you know this song, how could you not know it? And I have to tell them, I'm reacting to the performance. I might have already heard the song on a record, but it's about the performance. Every performance is with people that are singing live is going to be different. That's what we're talking about. Buy the record if you want to hear it the same way all the time. Go ahead and do that. But this is live. We want to hear live. We want to hear creativity in the moment. And that's really where that original music happened. It's rhythm and blues, the blues. Blues came from the jazz era. There's this transition from the music that, the slaves brought over, the jazz music. There's a completely transition into rhythm and blues, into the rock, into hip hop. There's a story. Unfortunately, we've not been taught it, which is a crime, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm getting ranty, but we need to honor the music of the people that built the music, and I'm still waiting to see that. So we can have the pride of the American music that happened in America that now has gone all over the world. In Pakistan, in India, in Japan. That music came from here. The music came from here. We need to honor that. Okay. I hope you like Michael Jackson as much as I do, and please let me know of any other vintage performances like that to react to. I'd love to hear it and see it. Thank you to my patron who's found these for me, and I loved it. Thank you so much. And yes, so I want to let you know that I do have a passion project, 2 of them on Facebook. The first one's YouTube Success Strategies, and that's for people that want to get their YouTube channel going. And then the other one is Creative Soul Alignment for people that are into creativity and spirituality. Because here's the deal. We're all spiritual. We're all creative. We're all meant to improvise and create a world that works for all of us. All right. See you next time. Bye.